on my breaky break. I hope this Friday is treating you right. I'll only be on for a little bit. And if this is your first time being on a live with me, I am Desiree Cocroft. I am a self mastery architect, executive life and leadership coach. I'm also a speaker and an author. And I love helping women leaders increase their leadership impact by helping them really hone in on their self awareness, have a better sense of what their leadership identity is so that they can have higher performance in the way that they develop as a leader and the way that they develop other leaders while also having a little bit of joy. Life is not as fun if we don't have as much joy in our lives. So I love to help them create the boundaries that are necessary and to really dig into the things that they would enjoy seeing in their personal life and their professional life that would elevate the joy that they want to experience overall. My personal mission is to ignite and empower others to fulfill their fullest potential. And I have a very big focus on women leaders, although I do have some men that I work with as well. But I have such a heart for women leaders, being a women leader myself and having been one just about my whole life and really understanding what it's like to have to continuously grow in who you are so that you can be ready for the next iteration of success for yourself. And so I have been able to have the privilege of training, coaching, and speaking to thousands of leaders over the course of my career of roughly 20 years of doing facilitation, helping others grow in their personal leadership growth, advising, consulting, and all the things. And in the last 5 years, doing so much training specifically in the educational space with leaders and with some that are in as entrepreneurs. Have had a lot of great opportunities to coach and consult with entrepreneurs and small businesses to help them reach their personal goals and their professional goals. And so I've been talking a lot the last couple of days about confidence, around being the biggest version of yourself. And today, real briefly, I just really wanted to kind of chat a little bit about self-doubt. So I'm actually going to share on the screen just in case as we're talking, you're interested. I have a masterclass coming up next Saturday from 10 to 12. And at that masterclass, I'll be helping women leaders talk about how they can lead and live with more confidence. I think it's really important for us to see how we can do both with more confidence, because we think that one way that we show up is the only area that will show up like that in. And what I mean by that is, so if we fix the things that we do in personal, it only affects our personal life, but we're the same person no matter where we go. So whatever we solve in our personal life will spill over into our professional life. And then adversely, whatever we don't solve in either of those areas spill over to the other, because we go everywhere we with ourselves. Ourselves follows ourselves everywhere we go. We don't get to split ourselves in half as much as, out here in these streets, we're like, you know what, you need to leave some things at the door. You can't really bring your whole self. And there's some truth to that. At the same time, there's almost a frustration with trying to separate yourself all the time, because honestly, you're going to bring your whole self to wherever you go, or at least 80% of it, wherever you go. So you have to find a way to be able to manage that, manage ourselves. And so anyway, today I really want to talk to you about just kind of the adverse effects of not dealing with the self-doubt that you may be dealing with as a leader. Most of the people that I work with, or when I spoke to different groups, or when I'm facilitating, what usually comes up in some of the feedback is people overthinking or doubting their decision making. And so this really can hinder your growth personally. It can hinder how you develop people. It can hinder the results that you may want to have in your business, whether it's increasing your clientele or increasing, as a result, increasing your revenue. There's so many reasons why self-doubt can just get in our way all the way. And so, the first one, I'm just looking at my notes. The first one is it really keeps you from taking action. So if you listen to my live on Confidence Comes With You Decide yesterday, then some of this will sound familiar to you. If you did not, then go ahead and check out that live that I did yesterday on Confidence Comes When You Decide. But truly, it affects our decision making, and it affects our action taking when we are in this cycle of self-doubt. And so when we have confidence that we're able to do a thing, we take action. And a lot of times, and this is what I said yesterday, is that confidence comes when you actually make a decision. Like confidence is the result of decision making. However, in our minds, we think that it's supposed to come from somewhere, that something is supposed to ignite us all of a sudden. And most times, what's going to ignite you is actually making the decision. And you can relate to that. You can feel in your body, you can remember or recall from your past that you made some decisions and suddenly the energy came, the enthusiasm came, the bright ideas came because you locked in on just deciding to do it before you even did anything, before you even took any action. There was a decision made that caused the action to happen. It was like the decision is what creates the momentum for action. And as you continuously create that action, that is how confidence is created. And confidence continues to have momentum as we continuously take action, because the action is what really lights the fire to help us have the confidence there. But when we're in this self-doubt cycle, our mind is created to continue to rehearse the negative feelings or the negative emotions that we have. And so if we allow it to keep on cycling, it's going to do what it's supposed to do. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's giving what it's supposed to give. And so if we want it to stop, we actually need to take action, or we need to do something in our body. We need to stop it by creating a switch in the process. And so if we're cycling about a thought, we need to change it with another thought. We might need to say something out loud. We might need to journal. There are things that we can do to stop it. But at the end of the day, it's going to hinder our decision making. It's going to hinder our action taking if we allow self-doubt to continue to hinder us. The second thing is that self-doubt diminishes our self-esteem. The more that we continuously doubt our ability, the way that we think, the lack of confidence in our decision making is going to diminish our self-esteem in the way that we show up in different spaces. And if this sounds something that's familiar to you, or if that's something that you know that you want more assistance with, then you definitely need to register. I have the QR code on the screen for my masterclass that's next Saturday, for leading and living with confidence. Because when we lack self-esteem, something I've been facilitating about since I was 17 years old, one of my first jobs was to help middle school and elementary school students learn more about self-esteem and self-image. When we have a lack of self-esteem, it causes us to do things that really will self-sabotage most of our decision making overall, because we're not confident in who we are. We have a very low belief in who we are. We have a very low belief in our abilities to do a thing. So we almost do so many things by default. We just allow things to happen, and we allow people to make decisions for us that we later resent because of our low self-esteem or our low self-image. And one of the things that is a part of my genius zone is really helping leaders to have some really concrete foundation and what their identity is, that they already are the powerful person that they need to be. They just have not released that person into the world. And so I think it's really important that when we think about self-doubt, it can be damaging to our self-esteem if we allow the self-doubt cycle to continue to circle in our minds without having a change of action. And then the last thing is, and I'm looking at my notes because I'm being quick because this is my break. We need to consider how self-doubt can help have us in a very unhealthy work-life balance. Because when we doubt ourselves, when we are in the cycle of self-doubt, we tend to need validation, right? I actually had a client, and we worked on this for a little bit, talking about the need to feel needed, or the need to show up in a way so that other people can know that you earned your keep, that you're supposed to be here. And all those things can lead to you overworking, looking for a validation from all the wrong places versus just getting the validation you need from yourself. And so with that, you end up overworking, you end up becoming a people pleaser. I'm a recovering people pleaser because I'm also a positive intelligence coach. And if you know anything about saboteurs, then you know that pleasing is one of those. And that's one that I've had to navigate a lot in my life because of looking for validation. And so even though I consider myself someone that had a high self-esteem or has a high self-esteem and being very assertive, there was still a lot of self-doubt that I would have in certain spaces or when making certain decisions. And for that reason, would look for a lot of confirmation and validation. Now, it's different when you're actually looking to get support or you're looking for information so that you can have that kind of stamp of assurance when you're making decisions. But there's something else when you have had a pattern of making decisions when you think that you have everything in this space of perfection, and that can hinder us too because sometimes we do all the things that we think is right and then everything comes crashing and then we continue to fall into that self-doubt cycle because we're wondering like, well, why didn't it work? I did everything I was supposed to do, when the fact of the matter is perfection does not exist. You're always going to have some failure at something and because of that we just get to learn. Failure is feedback. We get to learn from that. However, when we are in a continuous self-doubt cycle and our self-esteem is suffering as a result, we can take it personally to mean something about our own worth, and our own decision making, and it can hinder us. We can move way slower. We can be moving our organization at a snail pace because we're afraid to pull the trigger on different decisions because we're doubting ourselves because of whatever experiences that we may have had before where we didn't get the result that we thought we would get, and then looking for validation all around. What's interesting, I think I shared this in my live yesterday, is that I was talking or listening to a session with my mindset coach, and it was such a great reminder that our mind is always going to rehearse thoughts, and when we rehearse those thoughts, that's what the mind is going to look for in our outer world. So we're always looking for people to reject us because that's the fear, that's the thing that's going on in our mind. It's like our mind is searching for it. It's almost like it's a magnet for the things that we actually are thinking about all the time. And you may be able to relate to that, relate to a time where you were worried about a thing, anxious about a thing, and then it happened. It was like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. Of course you did, because your mind has been attracting, looking for the thing that it says, because our minds want to be right. Our egos want to be right. And we hate to be wrong. So we almost look for the thing that we actually despise. And so self-doubt can really be a hindrance to our leadership growth. It is something that comes with life, as humans, that we're humaning out here. It does come with life. However, we can get more aware of what is triggering some of those self-doubt cycles that we might go through, so that we can have shorter times that we are like living in that space, so that we can actually do the things, take action on the things that would help increase our impact, increase our influence, and increase our income, depending on what is your goal right now in your personal and professional life. And it can also just help you have, again, a healthy work-life balance. You're not always validating yourself or feeling like you need to validate yourself by overworking, being perfect, showing people that you're the best at what you do. And it's something about resting and knowing who you are versus proving to others who you want them to think you are. Two separate things, and it can cause a lot of anxiety. The latter can, if we live there too long. So I hope that was helpful to you. I know this is really quick, but this is my really quick break, and I wanted to do a live because I'm on a live roll, and I want to invite you to my Lead and Live with Confidence masterclass that I'll have next Saturday. It is at 10 a.m. Eastern to 12 p.m. Eastern, not 2 hours, 12 p.m. Eastern. And I'm so excited because it's going to be a great opportunity for you to see what barriers that you may have in your personal or professional life right now that's keeping you from really walking in the full confidence that you can as a leader, as well as what is the gap between who you are right now to where you desire to be. I work with a lot of leaders that are either transitioning to a higher leadership role, or they are transitioning to starting their personal business, something that they've been wanting to do for a while, or they're transitioning to another industry. The people that I work with love to do very exciting and bold things in their life, but because they've been doing something for so long, they need that extra drip of confidence juice to move forward and to be able to really crystallize who they desire to be. And who you desire to be will help you with the do's, the things that you desire to do, so you can have what you desire to have. And so I hope that was helpful. Again, click on the QR code if you are interested. I'll also drop a link after I get done with a few things. I'll come back and drop a link in the comments. If the QR code was hard for you to get to it, feel free to share it. And if there's anything that you want to comment on, please comment below. Comment, like, share, let other people know about the workshop, or just share the live if you're interested. And I look forward to seeing you on the next live. I want you to enjoy your Friday, and I'll see you soon. Have a great day.